I believe we'll call this meeting to order at, excuse me, 7 o'clock on Monday, January 9th, 2023. And no closed session this evening. So consent agenda items. The consent agenda contains minutes from the December 19th school board meetings, general fund vouchers and purchasing card transactions, and professional staff and co-curricular staffing recommendations. We would also request approval for the general fund vouchers 178884 through 178985 and 292066 through 292097, and purchasing card transactions dated 11/21/22 through 12/20/22. Again, there's some professional staffing, some co-curricular staffing, administrative staffing, some personnel items unnecessary for vote. So I would look for a motion to accept the consent agenda item as presented.
I will make that move.
Thank you, Bruce.
I can second that.
Thank you, Megan. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Public comments. Angie, I'm to understand that thus far we have no public comments. If you'd like to do your
All right.
piece here, this would be good.
If you'd like to make a public appearance by speaking to the board, please utilize the Q&A portion found at the bottom of your Zoom window. In the Q&A, we would ask that you type your name, address, subject of interest, and whether you have discussed this item prior to the meeting with either a district administrator or President Howery. After submitting the information, I would transfer you over to speak to the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. I believe I'll do the read today. In accordance with School Board Policy 167.3, the McFarland School Board welcomes public comment during regular meetings. The board will accept public comments via individuals who are physically present at the board meeting, who are participating at the board meeting virtually, or who have sent an email to the board president or superintendent in advance of the meeting. Please note the following. Participants are required to register their intention to participate in the noticed public comment portion of the meeting upon their arrival at the meeting, and shall begin their comments by stating their name, address, and group affiliation, if and when appropriate. Participants shall address only topics within the legitimate jurisdiction of the board. The board members will not directly respond to comments and may only take action on topics that are on the published agenda. Participants are asked to limit their comments to 5 minutes in duration. Written comments will have a word limit of 250 words. The portion of the meeting for public comment is limited to 60 minutes unless extended by a vote of the board. And finally, participants shall direct all comments to the board and observe reasonable decorum. Okay, and I think, so we've got no public comment, and we will move into McFarland High School student report.
All right.
Hello, Joey.
Hello. All right, a lot going on at McFarland High School right now, so that is amazing. Let me just share my screen here. And all right. Okay, it has the wrong date on it, but who cares about that? All right. So over winter break, actually, our very own MHS dance team went to Florida because they were invited to perform at the pregame show for the Citrus Bowl. So yeah, they were invited to show their varsity spirit there. I think about 9 dancers went. So congratulations and an awesome job to them for their performance. DECA, a business club at McFarland High School, is hosting an MDA fundraiser. So here's just a little spiel. from DECA themselves. So 3 DECA members at MHS, Kendra Mueller, Lauren Bainan, and Emmy Everson have planned an event to raise money for Muscular Dystrophy Association. Their goal is to raise $5,000 in honor of their 7th grade ambassador, Ryan, who attends IMMS. They would like to invite you to participate in an opportunity for the entire community to support, uplift, and celebrate one of our very own Spartans. So what is it? This is a fundraiser for MDA to help raise money for kids with muscular dystrophy, like Ryan, to experience camp in the summer. You can buy t-shirts designed by Ryan to wear during either or both the basketball games on January 19th, the girls game, or January 20th, the boys game. Here, I believe, is a QR code if anyone just wants to quick scan that. If you are interested in more information, I can always send that on over to you if you email me. My email is linked at the end of the slideshow. But speaking of DECA, they also attended their district's competition this past weekend. So I think over 25 students competed at this competition at DeForest High School. They had an amazing time. And 6 of our 25 students placed top 3 and auto-qualified for state this February. So that's very impressive, and congratulations to those students. World Market Night is going to take place on January 19th from 5 to 7 p.m. World Market Night is kind of an event being planned by Valerie Baserberg. It's going to take place showcasing a variety of local restaurants, selling a variety of dishes. The pre-order form for food is launched today and lasts through January 16th at 12 p.m. So this event basically entails like pre-ordering food from restaurants so that they know how much food to make and then kind of enjoying it like on one night, kind of, I think, in the high school age. Not super sure about that. We'll need more information. But so there's going to be music, activities, tables, and a raffle the night of. All proceeds go towards another event called Culture Week in May. Again, email Valerie. Her email's right there if you have any questions and if you would be interested in sponsoring or donating to the raffle. Some more information about World Market Night. Here are a few of the restaurants that will be providing food. Yeah, so it's taking place in the MHS cafeteria. It's going to include student and community tables, kind of support like local clubs or local community organizations. And there's also going to be music performed at the Second Lake Jazz Ensemble. They're fantastic. But yeah, so it's going to be a super awesome event. Really looking forward to that. Today, actually, our club, United Against Hate, went on a youth action field trip to the state capitol, where they had the opportunity to do Q&A with 4 district reps, not too far from the Madison area. So there were reps from kind of Baraboo, the west side of Madison, Sun Prairie. It's a really awesome experience. And those 4 legislators kind of talked about the process to become a legislator and how like bills are passed and what they're currently working on. So that was a really cool opportunity for the students that went. Just an update on the McFarland Club's traveling mural project. Here's just a little like picture of how Connects is going right now. But so most of the murals are almost complete and are hopefully going to be hung up around MHS soon. So amazing job to all the clubs who participated, including Eco Club, Club Unified, Multicultural Club, BSU, Connect, Hope Squad, and Girl Up. And I do believe that is all we have. Are there any questions?
No question, just a comment. It's amazing what the students and the different clubs are doing here in McFarland to further their understanding and support for other groups and students. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, it's amazing. Our students are great.
It is.
Please forgive me if you already said something about this. Is this our first market day? Or is this event
I do
happening?
believe it is the first event of its kind.
It really sounds like a great opportunity.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Anything else?
Can I ask you about the cultural night? Will food trucks be involved at all?
I think for the later Culture Week in May, there might be, but I think for right now, they're kind of like pre-ordering food. So almost like it's like a catering event. So like you'll come, and then you'll get like your order, and then you can just enjoy it in the cafeteria surrounded by like all the activities and the tables. And then Culture Week is going to be kind of like a week-long event that's going to be like a whole, like on a greater scale. And they might have food trucks, but no, I don't think this time there will be, unless I'm wrong.
Thanks.
Yep.
Joey, I just want to thank, well, again, maybe you can relay it, just thank those people who help organize all these things. It's amazing, the myriad of activities.
Yeah, it is. Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Joey.
you.
Thank you, Joy.
Thanks, Joey.
Enjoy the rest of the week.
You too.
All right. We'll move to informational items. The first being, this is Adult School Crossing Guard Recognition Week, and there is a proclamation, I believe.
Yes, would you like me to read that?
Please do.
Well, it's a very exciting week. It is School Crossing Guard Week, and so we have been distributing some gifts to our wonderful crossing guards with the hope that we are starting a trend within the community that people will take time to recognize those people that keep our kids and adults safe each and every day, regardless of the weather. So I'm here, I will read a proclamation by our state superintendent, Dr. Underly. Whereas Wisconsin adult crossing guards provide an invaluable service in helping to ensure the safe passage of our youngest, most vulnerable pedestrians, children walking between home and school. And whereas adult school crossing guards typically serve with a dedication that discounts the rigors of harsh weather, split shifts, and heavy traffic. And these rigors are currently compounded by challenges presented by COVID-19. And whereas for more than 5 decades, adult crossing guards have served communities to make them more secure. And whereas adult crossing guards add to the effectiveness of the student safety patrol members with whom they often serve and whose activity they help direct. And whereas adult crossing guards help reinforce in the minds of young people, they assist the importance of traffic hazard identification and safe street crossing behavior. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Dr. Jill K. Underly, State Superintendent of Public Instruction, declare the week of January 9th to the 13th, 2023, Adult School Crossing Guard Recognition Week, a time to recognize and thank the many school crossing guards whose commitment makes a difference in the lives of children in Wisconsin schools. It's a very nice proclamation and certainly characteristic of our school crossing guards. Had a chance while we were delivering gifts, Chief Chapin was saying that one of the things he often brags to with other chiefs is about our school crossing guards because it is a very, very difficult position, position to fill. And many communities don't have enough people to fill, and officers are actually filling those roles as another responsibility. Meanwhile, we're delivering gifts, and our crossing guards are saying, the kids are so great. I mean, I hope I get to keep doing this. And so they're appreciative just for the interactions with our amazing students.
They are incredible.
I mean, I'm out there periodically, but the kids are so polite. You know, they thank the crossing guard after they cross them. Parents are very appreciative. So I don't think the community is shy of knowing how important crossing guards, what role they play here in the village.
Great. Yeah.
I think we have some that have been at that spot, at
For-
their spot, for a long, long time. I know Mike Call is at the big intersection there at Farwell and
Yeah.
Main, and boy, it's been years. I think he may have taken Buck Calhagen's place, who used to go down there now and again, especially around the holidays, and hand out candy to the kids.
Yeah.
But it's tremendous. I mean, it's just and I don't think we have trouble, recruiting folks for volunteer positions like that. It's fantastic.
They're just so upbeat, that's the thing.
Yeah, all the
It's
time.
amazing to me. I'm going like, it's terrible outside and they're just waving and
Yeah, no,
They're awesome.
it's pretty remarkable, and I'm just certainly glad that the proclamation was read. But I do have one other thing I need to ask. I noticed in my calendar that I have in here that it is School Resource Officer Appreciation Day.
Yes.
Am I wrong?
You are, and that was my fault.
he's
One of-
wrong.
Wow.
Yes, it's my fault.
I wasn't
I'm
quite
wrong.
ready for that.
I'm wrong, and therefore you are wrong.
Okay.
School Resource Officer Day, the original date that I was given incorrectly by one of my many sources of recognition days was today. It is not. It's in February,
Nope.
but you are ready in advance.
I am.
Wow.
I am.
Now you get
Let's
extra credit.
let's give them two.
Well,
I think they
I
deserve
am,
it.
I am,
This is the honorary day.
I am solidly in their corner, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was my fault.
All right.
Wow.
Moving along, we have Mentor Month proclamation as well. Do you have that?
I would love the opportunity to read to you another proclamation.
We'd love to hear it.
And this is on, this is witnessed by all of you who have signed this proclamation. So nobody fancier than all of you. Take that, Dr. Underly. This is a proclamation for National Mentoring Month, whereas research and our own experience underscore the power of the relationship between good teaching and student learning. And whereas we believe the learning to teach well is a career-long developmental process with student achievement at its core, and whereas the challenges of new teachers result in documented and significant turnover within the first year of teaching when there is no induction support, and whereas quality teachers who receive induction support, including time with a qualified mentor, are more than twice as likely to stay with our schools, positively impacting student learning and school culture, maintaining program coherence, and making maximum use of district resources. And whereas over 80 veteran teachers from the school district of McFarland are trained as mentors and together offer over 700 hours of individual classroom-based professional development to the new teachers who join our school community each year. And whereas McFarland New Teacher Induction Mentor Committee works tirelessly to support the work of our mentors and encourage the growth of all of our new staff. Now therefore, the members of the McFarland School Board do hereby proclaim January 2023 as National Mentoring Month in McFarland and call upon our staff and community members to recognize the importance and celebrate the contributions of our mentors and to look for opportunities to serve as mentors to others in their own lives. In witness thereof, we set our signatures on this, the 9th day of January 2023. Thank you, school board members.
Aaron, do you have any data on what our success rate is? You have new teachers coming who stay beyond the second year, because that seems to be the drop-off year for a lot of folks. I presume it's very high here.
Yeah, I don't have a percentage, but, off the top of my head, it's pretty much 100%.
Okay.
We really do
That's
not have
great.
teachers leaving early in their career, and I really feel like that mentor program, and in addition to their formal mentor, there's a lot of informal mentors. The support that our new teachers get both formally through the Director of Teaching and Learning and their program, as well as just people, looking out for each other is really outstanding.
Do you feel like that's sort of unique around the area, or do most districts have a mentor program of one fashion or another?
All districts have some type of a mentor program. I think each one is unique. What makes ours unique, I think, are just the amount of one-to-one mentors we have with our veteran staff. Many districts have kind of like a designated district mentor that serves many mentors. We do have a bit of a hybrid in our district, which has served us well, is that Mark Hoyer is the mentor typically with our new to the profession teachers. And what a gift, you know, retired educator and also a leader and trainer in the Dane County New Teacher Project that facilitates that. So we have both kind of one person serving our, you know, our staff who may need the most support, and then one-to-one mentors for everyone else. And that is a pretty unique model.
It's awesome that we've continued this. This has been going on for a long time, and it's something that this district should be incredibly proud of. It's an amazing program.
And I would say one thing that has changed over time is just the quality and intensity, to be honest, of the training that our mentors receive. That program has been revamped so many times, and the current training, which I haven't had but I've heard, is just excellent.
Who
So,
provides that?
Dane County New Teacher Project,
Oh, okay.
you know, in collaboration with the New Teacher Center.
And I think I remember from a few board meetings ago, I don't remember the details, but I remember that, I think we rarely have a shortage of mentors volunteering to be mentors, which, I mean, that also goes to show how valuable it is.
Speaks
Both.
volumes.
Right.
Speaks
exactly.
volumes for our staff.
Yeah, and I would say that the program that the district and certainly Mark Hoyer has helped design here should be emulated throughout, not only Dane County, but probably nationwide. I mean, we have a pretty pure program.
We do. We do. We have a lot to be proud about.
Yeah.
I generally try to attend a session at both the state and national convention about the, you know, the mentoring piece. There's usually multiple sessions there, and it's really kind of eye-opening to sit in with all the other, you know, districts from around the nation. Not everybody is like little old McFarland here.
That's a real strength.
Okay?
Thank you.
Next is notice of educational options per Wisconsin Act 55, Section 118.57. This is a relatively long document. If you've taken a look at it here, and Aaron, how do you want to?
I am not going to read
There's
this.
would you
not
like to
one-
do?
There's not one whereas in it.
But you're so good at it.
Yeah. So this is something that we get to do as required by law annually by January 31st. And so it's something that, yes, you are required to do. I did a little looking into this and through reading the statute and then having Angie interpret it for me a little bit. You know, some of the things is you are required to just let everyone know about the educational options. And it's an effort, I think, you know, I wasn't there when the law was passed, but my interpretation is just to make sure that the public is aware of all the variety of options that our youth have access to and choices that they can make. It is published in the paper and also on our website. And the way that the statute reads is that the school board shall publish a notice. And so we bring this forward to you for you to just understand and have the information about what is shared, will be shared with the public prior to that being the case. So
And when was this law passed? That was the one thing I was
I
kind of
don't
curious.
know.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe by the end of the meeting, I'll be able to tell
Yeah,
you.
let's not worry.
I like that stuff. I think it's kind of curious, but it really doesn't change anything about our program. It's more telling people about
Right.
the amazing things that we do. I like how it has a lot of detail about, you know, sort of the educational options that are available for part-time open enrollment and things, because we get those questions actually quite a bit, particularly with WEVA,
Oh, I suppose.
so.
So Aaron, I know we publicize this in the newspaper and on the web,
Mhm.
but when kids come into middle school or high school, is that one of the topics that are shared with parents when they have their orientation night at all?
Yes, one relevant, you know,
Okay.
because some of this stuff, especially if you look at like a K-5 student, a lot of it, it is
Granted, yeah.
often, very high school focused. So those are some of the things that are shared with the orientations
Okay.
for the high school students and then promoted throughout the year
Mhm.
as well. Yeah, good question, because there's a lot in this
There are.
document.
I don't know how you keep it straight.
Any other
Yeah.
comments for Aaron, questions? If not, Board Member Mooney has the next three little action items here. Much appreciated. Tom, the floor is yours.
Yeah, and actually, they aren't action items, they're just
Information.
information.
Informational,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The first
I
one,
misspoke.
I just want to caution us when we compare our school district with other school districts in the county, because, each district has unique strengths and reputations. And as things come to light, at least on my part, I realize, oh, that's not good to compare us to this particular system or whatever, because I think we lose credibility. So what I'm suggesting is that, if you're talking about diversity or academic achievement, school board governance, school site governance, curriculum and supplemental traces, just name a few, I think it's important to have that background information before we articulate, what's happening in other districts. Like sometimes the grass does seem to be greener on the other side, but oftentimes it is not. And I was just blown away just, last week when I heard something about another school district. I would never have guessed that. Yeah, so, just so that we are aware of that.
Oh, there's a lot of apple and orange comparisons out there. It's
Yes.
just, it's right there for you. The information is always topical, and it's a very limited geographical area with a bunch of school districts in it.
Yeah,
So I guess it's understandable that you want to compare things on standardized tests, scores and such. But even there, you find that the way tests are given, the way
Administered.
studies go leading up to these tests are different from district to district. So that may affect, final numbers as well.
exactly.
But I think we all understand what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
it's just a caution.
Yeah.
The second, I am acknowledging and appreciating the work of school staff who go above and beyond, particularly as they work behind the scenes. I mean, if we identified everything that school staff does, teachers, support staff, administration, whoever, I mean, that list would be very, very lengthy. Unfortunately, what we often refer to is just during school day, what staff might be doing or not doing, what we're doing right, what are the challenges. I just listed some here. Those that provide reading intervention to young kids after school hours, staff making phone calls to select families to check in with kids, and some of these are definitely K-12. Those that use their prep time or lunchtime to attend required meetings or provide additional support for students. Those who reach out to kids in need, who need just a listening ear, guidance of an issue, or moral support. I think our district is pretty exceptional with that. Those that serve as that significant adult in a student's life, because we know from the Dane County Youth Survey that makes a significant difference with our youth. Those that arrive early, leave late from school, come on weekends during vacation periods, serve as mentors to students or to staff new to our district. And these are just some examples. And I urge the community, when they look at the schools, to be aware that a lot happens beyond the school day. Coaching is another good example for that.
That can be a difficult message to get across.
It can be, yes.
I can't recall when it really started, but we've fought that battle that, they only work 9 months a
I
year.
know.
Since well before I was on the board, and that's, 12 years ago. So it's difficult to contain oneself at times, when you know darn well what goes on in terms of effort, hours,
Absolutely.
personal sacrifice.
Yeah.
It all goes on. There's very few people, that come on the dot of whenever they're supposed to be here and leave at 3:30 or whenever it is.
Yeah.
And you're right. We do need to continually acknowledge and appreciate those folks.
And get that word out to the community.
Absolutely.
And again, I can't say that all staff go way above and beyond, but I do know a large share of staff do that.
I think anyone that spends any time in the buildings will concur.
Yeah,
Definitely
Yeah.
more than Norm and McFarland than that. for
yes,
sure.
absolutely. And the third thing, content of our school board meeting minutes. Last time, we didn't have the technology available. So I was sort of anxious to see how the minutes came out. because when I brought this up in the past, probably 5 years, you know, I have a concern that the minutes don't really reflect any of the conversation or rationale for the votes that we do take, or, you know, approve or disapprove. And, you know, I know people might go to YouTube or listen through Zoom, whatever. Without that technology available last time, we lost out on that. So I just encourage us, if we don't have the technology, to maybe make our minutes a little more comprehensive, or audio tape it for whoever might want to be interested in that.
If I'm not mistaken, it's just, you're mentioning that seems to trigger, I thought at some point, you probably brought it up, that keeping the minutes kind of as detail-free was a conscious decision. You know, only because you get into too much detail, you get into context issues, and you get into, you know, potential confusion and questions that need to be asked. And I'm not necessarily saying that I agree with that, but I believe it was a conscious decision at one point just to leave the minutes bare bones.
Yes, and
I mean,
you are right. But then when you take a look at the minutes of other school districts, you know, especially when it's in the paper, you know, there's rationale, or there's summary of some of the discussion, you know? So the community has a better understanding. But I think I'm a minority of that view here in the district, but it's just a concern that I have.
Thank you.
Just to be more transparent.
I've had the same thought when I've looked at some of the minutes in the past. I don't know that it offers a lot of tangible information, if people are looking for that. And like you said, we do have alternatives for people to find that information now, but, yeah, I would agree with you.
Just food for thought.
as clerk, do you have an opinion on this, Bruce?
Well, I just know that in the end, I think if there are questions, I have a feeling our members of the district, constituents will contact us. So, I mean, I think it's out there if you need it. I mean, I think each of us, we
That's fine.
periodically get contacted, and I think that's what they're doing, so.
Okay. Thanks, Tom.
Sure.
Interesting.
Point well taken. District Administrators Report. The first, school safety written drill evaluation notification and review per Wisconsin State Statute 118.07 CP. Aaron.
Yes, so you'll see in your materials that we had 4 safety drills in December, and they were all lockdown drills. They were strategically timed to be relatively close to one another, because for the first time, we've facilitated lockdown drills that involved our police department. And our goal of that was a couple of reasons. One is, if there were to be an emergency that resulted in, which is considered our most significant action in the form of a lockdown, that it would be the police indeed that opened the doors to students and released them. And so we had police and administrators going through and doing that. A second reason was just to give students more interactions with police in a really positive way. So they could open the door and say, "Great job, you know, you did a great job," and reassure them and move on. You know, our district has really tried to find a balance between giving students practice, but not alarming them with these drills. Now, you don't have a choice. You are required to do these drills, and we do more drills than we're required to do. But we try to do that in a really sensitive way. And the feedback that I've gotten has been very positive from, you know, my own observations, as well as from the administrators involved in the police department. We do a debriefing afterwards and look for things. Often it's like, this door doesn't quite close right. We've also talked about, you know, just in communication processes. that would happen in an actual event and things, so.
Do the cameras and such become involved in that as well? If
They
there's
do.
cameras that maybe aren't functioning, or, because I know we've added a bunch of cameras in the last many years.
Yeah.
5 or 6 years.
Yeah, the camera issues in terms of them not functioning, those are addressed immediately throughout the year. And they happen from time to time, sometimes they need to be reset, but it's actually gotten less and less frequent. The technology is very reliable. One of the things that's really nice about our camera system is that those that have access to the cameras have access to all the cameras. So if there were an incident that were to happen in another building, for example, not that it would be my role, but myself or someone else on the administrative team could be watching those cameras and observing, relaying information to the authorities, whereas those in the building may not be able to do so safely. So those are some of the the different things that we've done.
In terms of the process, is it you put the lockdown in place, then the responsibility for ending the lockdown lies with the police department?
Yes, school staff would be typically the ones that put the lockdown in place. All staff have access to an emergency system from their rooms, so they can activate a lockdown at any time as necessary. It doesn't require calling to the office and the office making a decision, so.
Is there a centralized location where you can
Yeah.
lock all the doors at one time from one place?
So, not classroom doors. The middle school does have an ability to lock doors to the pods from a central location.
Sure.
Close them. If they've been unlocked, they won't be unlocked. But they have the ability to do that. And we're still working on how to do that at Conrad Albion Primary School. The high school in Wabisa, they're just not structured in a great way to do that. They're kind of, when you get to different wings, they don't have doors that cut across in any significant way. So there's not really like a panic button.
Yeah.
It's kind of what you're describing.
And do they ever speak of active shooter drills anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's, when we
I know
talk about a
we've had-
lockdown,
we've
we
had-
say the different threats and
Yep.
what that could be and those things. But you don't have people going through the buildings pretending to do anything or anything
I know
like
they
that.
invited
That's good.
board members to observe the last time they did it here, and it's a pretty emotional kind of day, and I've been through one of those at Monona Terrace as well, and it's upsetting. I mean, extremely upsetting to a lot of people.
Yeah, that's kind of
That's-
more of an exercise
tough
than it
call.
is involving students. Like that situation was off hours and more for fire, EMS and police to kind of get their practice along with us.
Sure.
But,
Absolutely.
and we've talked about doing those type of things as well, and reunification.
And you
Okay.
mentioned about, for the students, but I know as a teacher, it's nothing that anyone really enjoys. And yet, those drills are so important for the teachers. Because they themselves learn things, or they see things that they weren't aware, or they discover things that they have to be concerned about. And all that learning is so important.
It is.
And you really only get it when you do one of these drills. So, it's really, really important.
We
Because-
also, go ahead.
Couple comments.
Yeah.
First of all, I think we've been very fortunate over the years. The school police, school resource officers that we've had have been really good
Absolutely.
matches. For
Absolutely.
kids in the district. And I think that type of cooperation between the school and the police department village has been tremendous. And I don't see that changing at all in the future. After a lockdown, and I know they put it out on notices, email, and all that stuff. Do you encourage parents to talk to their kids about the lockdown? Okay.
Yeah, and that's a thing, the language is, what we've been trying to do, and I think we're very consistent about, is saying, a drill's coming up, here's what we're gonna do. A drill happened, talk to your child about
Good.
their experience. And I haven't gotten any feedback from families directly, and I can check with the administrators, but I haven't heard any feedback from families.
I think as long as parents are notified, so they have the opportunity to talk to their kids.
And Tom, I know teachers do.
Yeah.
They debrief with the
Well,
kids.
the
after it's all
teachers I
done.
know.
And they
Yeah.
have to.
But
I
it's
think
the
really good.
parents when they go home, then I.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and as a parent, we definitely get advance notice and then notice after it's been complete and, yeah, debriefing.
Good.
Unfortunately, it's a thing that my kids are at the age where they've done it in most of the years of their school. And so it's not as unexpected or as traumatizing as it might have been for some kids.
Do they take
who
it
haven't-
seriously?
Yeah.
As they go through the, okay.
For sure.
The two that I've been part of, the one here and the one at Monona Terrace, which was the Madison and Dane County Police Departments and such. They used blank ammunition, which is the same decibels as the real weapons. And that completely changes the entire dynamic. Because the ones here, they had the guns, but it was just like poof, poof, you know. We had people just rolling out of that place when that volume of, it just makes it so real. It's, because people don't appreciate how loud that is, you know, unless you're a hunter or a
Right.
target shooter, that is tremendously loud.
But we don't do that. And-
No,
No.
So just,
No,
yeah,
No.
I just want people.
and I'm not advocating for that either,
No.
but there are different levels of those,
Oh, yeah.
those drills. And I will tell you that the folks at Monona Terrace took notice.
I'm sure.
They became very aware.
One of the things we often talk to students about is, these are skills that you can use throughout your life. And just some statistics to throw at you. 2021, there were 138 instances of gunfire in schools. And for every shooting victim in a school, there were about 568 victims outside of school. And you're about 570 times more likely to be murdered in your home than at school, and 24 times more likely to be murdered in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Well,
That's one of those myths, though. That's a myth that
It
people
is.
believe. And school is one of the safest places, if not the safest place for kids to be.
We just hear about them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
and they're
important.
sad and they're
Out there.
scary, and there was just
Right.
one recently, you know, with a teacher.
Yeah.
Yep.
thank you for that, Aaron.
Yeah, that's good perspective.
I didn't have that memorized, I pulled it up.
We have our favorite part. We've got some recognitions to go over.
Yes, you know, it's fun because I prepare these and then Joey steals my thunder all the time, but I forgive him. But connected with this is, I just wanted to point out the threat assessment training. I know I mentioned it in the McFarland minutes. But I think it's important, you know, for you to know, and the community to know, that in addition to our other safety efforts, we are all trained on how to assess threats. A student says something, an adult says something that's threatening, implies something, a direct threat, and how to assess those. So I really appreciate Lauren Arango always organizes those trainings, and it's facilitated by our staff who have been trained as trainers. This time it was Zach Springer and Angie Brunette. So a really important part of our process. I wanted to recognize them. And of course, as you were commenting, we sent you some pictures of the concessions that are going up in a hurry. It's always impressive to watch construction happen much faster than I would be capable of. They're doing a great job, and thank you to Jeff Mahoney for his part and his leadership in getting that done, a project that has been waiting on a few things and is moving quickly. Today was a great day here at the high school. Joey didn't mention this, so I can share it. Today, juniors and seniors got to listen to a panel from our high school alumni. So people within the last couple of years that have graduated come and talk about their experiences to our juniors and seniors, applying for schools, transitions as you get into work.
Have we done
what
that
to
in the past?
expect.
Yes.
It has been
Yeah.
done in the past,
It's
yes.
What a
Great
great
idea.
idea.
Yeah,
that's
they've been
great.
doing it
And
for a
we get,
while.
and we get enough kids to come back and they're willing to share.
And I think they enjoy it.
I bet you,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
They do, there's a variety, they try to get a variety of people with experiences, from someone that went from youth apprenticeship right into the work field, and to someone that is going to school in the United Kingdom, so.
Cool.
And this is good timing because most of the students are back
They're on
home
break.
Yeah.
during that time.
Right.
Yes, that's sort of the idea. So special thanks to Penny Thompson for organizing
Yeah.
that. And of course, you heard a little bit about We Are Many United Against Hate. And we have really, we focused a lot and appropriately about our students who are active in these clubs and leading these clubs. Also wanted to just recognize, getting to Tom's point about the things that happen after the school day. Our advisors, yes, they're compensated, but not really. I mean, just barely. And that's not why they do it. So Kelly Thompson has taken over leadership of We Are Many United Against Hate and organizing that field trip and everything. So just really grateful for her and our many advisors.
Yeah, it would be a different world for us if teachers did not take those after-school events, athletics, whatever it is. We would look vastly different.
It was.
Isn't that
Yep,
different?
and our kids
Not for
wouldn't
the
be as
better
well
either.
served.
No.
No.
Well, staff is so incredibly busy that, and I'm not saying they're busier than staff was 20 years ago, but 20 years ago, they had zero difficulty finding folks to supervise athletic events or to, help out with any sort of co-curricular event. And I think they're just so stupid busy right now that to take on more is almost asking too much. But all of those clubs, all of those bands and orchestras and choruses and athletic teams, yeah, with all this opportunity comes a responsibility to have advisors and coaches, and that's not an easy task. That's a difficult task, I think.
And we're very fortunate.
Yep.
Upcoming dates, tomorrow we have a joint village school board planning committee meeting. Wednesday night is the Power of Words Hate Speech presentation. That will be at 6 p.m. Monday, there is no school in recognition of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And then we have the end of semester coming up.
Wow.
Already on the 20th. There's a snowball dance, which I don't really know about, but used to be a thing and is coming back, I guess. That's what they're saying. Sounds like a lot of fun, sponsored by the Student Council. We have professional development on January 23rd. We'll have our second work session regarding the strategic plan with Joe Schrader on the 24th. And the high school on the 25th will have open house registration night. Then get your tickets. The IMMS musical Little Mermaid Junior is coming up, February 2nd
What
through
time is
4th.
that work session? On the 24th?
It's just an A-council thing.
a-
It's not a work.
I
not a
thought it
you
was
work
our,
session.
okay, okay.
You're not
A-council
invited.
has work sessions
okay.
too.
That's okay.
An A-council meeting not involving the school board,
Excellent.
yes, on January 24th. And then, boy, it made you nervous.
He said not involving school board like 4 times.
I
Yeah, I
know.
think we're trying to get that.
We got the hint.
Yeah.
We won't
Yes,
go.
and then the 6th is, our next school board meeting is not until February 6th. Part of that is it allows us, we'll be going to the conference next week. Craig will be there. I get to be there for a minute,
And there is
A minute?
Yeah.
extensive
a few days.
work being done to the Wisconsin Center. And there's like 3 of those giant cranes, and
Oh, boy.
I think they're putting a building up where the parking lot was, kind of across the street. But I don't know what parking's gonna be like, so.
No, neat.
But there was a bunch of construction going on there. We
Yeah,
were
it's-
down there last Friday.
It's really interesting. People are like, oh, I'm sure you'll learn a lot or whatever. I don't know what to expect. So, that's, a first time thing. So I'll be going Tuesday afternoon. They have a first-time superintendent's starter thing, and
Oh,
then,
that's good.
All these conventions are great perspective
yeah.
Yeah.
builders. You know,
Yep.
you really find out the uniqueness of this school district.
Yes, and we
cool.
have a couple of presenters. Jeff Mahoney will be presenting, and I think Melissa Fole actually has a
Are you
session
doing
as well.
a regular session?
Aren't you
You're
presenting on the thing? I thought you were presenting on the safety thing, on the cyber thing, or you've already done that? Already done that. You already did that, but Melissa's presenting, I think, on the materials reconsideration. I'm sorry. I've
You have
assigned,
exactly 1 week to put your presentation together.
I didn't mean to make you nervous.
He was just so proud.
He doesn't
That we-
know it, but he's
Team
giving a speech.
presented.
Well, he's gonna be there, though,
you go.
anyway. So it'll be a good time.
So what's Melissa's is about what?
I think it's about the materials reconsideration, but I could
yes,
be
that's
wrong
what-
because
You were-
I just was wrong. So I'm just gonna reserve the right to be wrong. But I think she's presenting on our materials reconsideration process when someone says, you know, they'd like to have a materials, a piece of text or something reconsidered.
I think that's what I
That's,
read
that's
somewhere.
an interesting process.
Yes, it
You know, it really is. I mean, it's eye-opening.
Yep, and we've had some experience.
Yep, we
As you recall,
navigated
we adopted a policy, and that night, we got our first one.
Yep.
So
That
actually,
is the
during the
best way to
meeting.
test a new policy.
So, yeah. So, very good. That's it. That's all I got. I'm going home.
Action items, moving forward.
I'm sorry, I have a question about the convention thing. So
Yeah.
will we get a debrief or like a summary of what you learned?
For sure.
For sure, okay.
Yes. I mean, I don't know, I can't speak for President Howery,
Right.
but I will share with you what
Okay,
I
great.
Oh, yeah.
learned and.
No, there's always a lot to bring back.
Yeah,
And many times there's materials that we can get and bring back as well, so.
great.
Okay, action on MHS early graduation requests.
I think there's-
No?
No,
I don't think so.
That's another mistake. My gosh, thank goodness my eval's over. I put that in there. I accidentally left that in there from last time. No business managers report. I mean, you could. I've already gotten you doing a speech next week, so.
That's right. Just volunteering for all
So
the
I
surprise
apologize
things.
for the confusion on that.
Good eyes. Tom.
How many of these requests do we have? I see
One.
one.
I think
I see
there's
one
just
here. Is
one.
that the only one?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, is there any discussion? You guys need to know anything other than it's an early graduation request and the reason is in the letter? I think it's pretty straightforward. I'm assuming that the district has no issue with it?
I mean, can I ask a question about the process? Because, I mean, Student Services is the one who brought forward the request. So what exactly is the process for requesting that? Just-
Yeah, so typically it's done in conversations with the family and student services brought to building administration, who then authorizes it to come to you for
I
approval.
imagine it's probably even a year ahead or so in planning at that point, I would guess, just as like students meet with student services and can identify that, right? I mean, so it's not like
I would
it's
assume they put together a
surprise.
plan of some sort.
Right.
And maybe that plan ends with them, you know,
Mm-hmm.
meeting all their requirements at the end of the first semester or something like that.
You know, my guess is that we have, you know, students who could, you know, who have the credits they need and could retire early, or retire early. Could graduate early, you know, but choose to stay. And it could be some of those situations happen sometimes too.
Interesting, okay.
Aaron, would my assumption be correct if high school staff did not support the request for early graduation, it would not come before us?
Correct. Correct. And also, as long as we're talking, just a reminder, we will come back to you and give you a report. Remember, we changed the credit requirement for the early graduation. Remember, you approved that. And one of the, I wouldn't say conditions, but one of the things you asked for sorry to hit the mic. One of the things you asked for at that time was, can you let us know, like, how often, like, did this make a difference? You know, what kind of a difference did it make? So just know that as well. Just
I'm glad you reminded us of that.
Refresh
I do
my-
remember that.
Yeah, we've probably had as many as 4 or 5,
Right.
you know, at a time historically. There's, you know, kids that are just academically ready to go to the next level.
Yep.
You did, I mean, you had action a little bit ago on several. This is kind of an outlier.
Right.
Yeah.
Any other discussion?
Great option.
I would look for a motion to approve the request in that case.
I will move to approve the attached MHS early graduation requests as
Thank you,
recommended by administration.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Tom? Any other discussion? If not, please signify, please signify your approval by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Next is action on application for girls hockey cooperative team renewal. I think this is probably, I'm assuming the cooperative is going to be the same as it has been in years past.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, there's change.
We have added Barneveld.
Right.
Oh.
Has been added to the group.
And someone dropped out.
Dramatic. Well, Lodi doesn't have, I don't think they have
Is
a
that what it was?
student this year, so we still have, we have 8 schools that are involved. Just for your reminder, this was started in 2007, 2008. We've had as many as 4 students involved and as little as few as 1. But it means a lot to that one student, so.
Do you know how many we have now?
I think it's 1
It's
this
just
year.
one this year, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, it's pretty remarkable. Historically, we have put together co-ops for, you know, one individual. And I just think the ability to give as many people, as many opportunities as you can, and it can't be anything but good.
I agree, Craig.
Yeah, I agree.
Appreciate that.
Okay, in that case, I would look for a motion to accept the recommendation.
So moved.
Tom?
And
Do
I
have
can
a
second that.
Bruce? Any other discussion? If none, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Action on approval of McFarland School District School Forest Quit Claim Deed and authorization for school board president and clerk to sign the quit claim deed document. Any discussion there?
Just a reminder, so in March, you had approved transferring the ownership of the school forest over to the village, so this is, and you had taken action on it, that was an action item. And this is just the formal next step to sign over a phrase I never knew existed, which is a quit claim deed.
I was going to ask.
I wasn't sure if
What
it
does
was-
that mean?
Yeah.
We quit the claim of that land, is what it
Yeah.
is. We're basically giving it to the village, that's all it is.
It's got to be more complicated than that.
I know, it's just a weird
Yeah, it is.
phrasing of words.
So, you very wonderfully attached a link to the presentation, which I admittedly did not watch, but can I have like a 30-second overview, since it was before my time, of why we're doing it?
Oh. I think their concern was that, first of all, we didn't have the equipment to actually, I think, Jeff, you were involved with that. We didn't have the, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I did the
Anyway.
presentation.
Yeah, you did,
Yep.
yeah. And we just didn't have the equipment to take care of it.
Several reasons. There are probably 3 main ones. One, it's surrounded by village-maintained land. 2, village has staff that include a forester that can actually help with it. 3 was related to our process of trying to divide what are things that the school district is really good at and what things the village is really good at. And the fourth one kind of took the cake, which is we have a policy that does not allow pets to be on our property.
Oh.
And yet the village has been very kind enough to install a station where you can pick up dog bags and drop off dog bags. Thus, we violate our own policy by having ownership of that land. So this was one of those,
I remember that.
probably the best no-brainer I've seen in 26 years.
Yeah.
And it really allows for the village to take and run with that property and connect it with the Thurn Marsh, their park, and then also even the Jaeger, because there is actually kind of a little goat path.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those great little projects that took about a year to get it all buttoned up with a quick claim deed.
Okay.
Okay,
Rolls
thank
off
you.
your tongue a little better than mine.
Yeah.
Used to do them.
I think it was probably your presentation that Aaron linked to, so I just wasn't able to look at
Yes,
it.
was.
Any
Thank
other
you.
comments? If not, I would look for a motion to approve.
I'll make that.
Bruce, thank you. Second,
I can second that.
Megan, thank you. Any other discussion? If so, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. And next, we have action on the 2023-2024 open enrollment policy, approval for space availability in the schools, programs, classes, or grades. I don't know who's gonna take this one on, but whomever is gonna
Sure. I can-
cover this one, please
I
take
can
it
get you
away.
up to speed. So this is something you do every year at this time, very, very clearly laid out in terms of what's expected of districts at this time to determine space availability for future open enrollment for next year. And the short version is we don't have space for open enrollment. You'll see there's several separate action items, so they take them each individually. But to fast forward is, basically what the district is saying is we don't have space for any new open enrollment. We're able to continue to provide space to those who are currently open enrolled. And because we don't have any space availability, we are not recommending a wait list for, additional people to apply because we don't have space. Keep in mind when you're thinking about the space and how we set those numbers, we always have to allow for the potential of more resident students enrolling because we couldn't fill our buildings with open enrollment students and send resident students away. So we always have to leave, room for them to join us.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate, over the years, we've had a lot of students transferring from other districts into ours, which, worked to our advantage in that it filled our classrooms.
Right. Kept enrollment up.
Financially, it's advantageous to have residents as opposed to open enroll, I
Right.
know. But I think at points, we've had over 300 students open enrolled, haven't we? Which is enormously more than anyone else.
Yeah, at
So,
one point, were we the number one in the, county or something like that, or close?
Certainly in the county, I think we were like in the top 10 in the state for percentage.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, our peak was about 317 or 323 is one of those two numbers.
now does this?
But we've been phasing out
Yes.
Right.
since about 4 years ago.
That's what I thought. How about legacy folk? When you have those younger kids, they've got maybe a brother and a sister that are open enrolled. There's no room for the younger one, should that come up.
Correct.
No room, there's no room.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, per McFarland School Board Policy, Administration recommends approval of the following action items for 2023-2024 open enrollment. I would look for a motion to approve space availability in the schools, programs, classes, or grades within the school district using the following criteria. The board considered criteria such as class size limits, pupil-teacher ratios and enrollment projections, The enrollment projections were determined by considering criteria including but not limited to residential housing market information, survival ratios, birth rate data particular for the district's zip code, and a 4% margin of error based on residential move-ins. Furthermore, the board considered the capacity available at each building facility. It is important to note that because of the absence of neighborhood schools in the district assigns all pupils in each grade to the same school. Accordingly, the district set space limits based on each grade level, not on the basis of class or section size or capacity. And then we have a series of graphs giving us all that information. A little bit further down, I see we've got, in terms of special education, the caseload projections based on maximum numbers were considered by reviewing current and past caseloads, pending referrals, and the number of locations for the provisions of services. So, 23-24, there is no space available at 4K communities. Conrad Elvium Primary School, Wabisa Intermediate School, Indian Mound Middle School, and McFarland High School for speech and language, occupational therapy, physical therapy, vision services, orientation and mobility services, audiology, deaf, hard of hearing services, or specially designed physical education. So, after all that, I would entertain a motion for approval.
Um,
Tom,
yeah.
and a second.
I can second that.
Megan, thank you. Any other comments or questions?
The only question I have, it talks about unlimited space at WEVA.
Right.
Maybe unlimited space, but there might be restrictions based on the availability of space or staff.
Well, they would, yeah.
So there's no cap for them?
Yep, and similar to, when I think of it as what happened during COVID, right? They just kept,
Yes.
they just kept expanding
Yeah,
and
they did.
adding staff because there's no physical limitations to their ability to do so.
Okay.
Yeah.
The state doesn't allow you to set anything different if you're a virtual school.
Really?
I suppose.
Wow.
Just meet the demand,
Yeah.
Right.
supply and demand, I guess.
Any other comments, questions?
Thank you.
Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Moving down the way. Action on 23-24 open enrollment policy, preference versus guarantee for currently attending pupils. I would look for a motion to grant guarantees for currently attending pupils and include currently attending pupils in the count of occupied spaces.
And this is, I'm not, this is one I wasn't quite sure. This is what you were referring to. Someone's already in the system. Continue, okay.
Yep.
All
We
right.
guarantee space for them.
Yeah. But not a sibling.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
This relates to, so you're a resident
Yes.
currently, and you move. You are presently in our counts, therefore you are guaranteed continued.
Always.
It's the reverse then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there are situations.
So it does not guarantee currently open enrolled students into the district future
We don't
spots?
have a process anymore for removing people that
Oh,
are
okay, so they're
presently,
guaranteed.
Okay,
they're already guaranteed. Once you're in, you're
got
in.
it. Okay,
This relates to those, making sure that if a person is here in our counts now, I have them counted as a resident next year, but if they were to move, they're guaranteed a spot through the tuition waiver process. So,
got it.
For just next year or for their whole school career?
or they then go into being a tuition,
Okay.
and then they go into being into the open enrollment, because tuition waiver turns into open enrollment if you are currently here as a resident.
And what is the cost of tuition right now?
They don't pay tuition. It's called tuition waiver.
Oh, tuition waiver, okay. What if someone just wanted to pay tuition? Yeah, they were at Madison.
You would have to have space unless there is a 6603 agreement, such as we have with Oregon School District for the Burmester Woods area.
Oh, okay.
So that actually happens then, occasionally.
Correct. You do have people that would like to pay.
Okay, I didn't
But-
realize that.
If you don't have any room for open enrollment, you can't have any room for,
Obviously, yeah.
Tuition, yeah, because then you're denying open enrollment.
Yeah.
Say, but yeah, we'll take the money.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
That,
interesting.
thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, that was
I
good. Thanks.
misunderstood the legalese there.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Do I have a motion?
I can make that.
Bruce, second?
I'll second.
Tom, thank you very much. Any further comment? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Per board policy, the board is permitted to include pupils who are currently attending school in the non-resident school district and pupils attending the school district for whom tuition is paid by another school district under section 121.781A. The school board shall approve, guarantee currently attending pupils. So that's what we were just talking about, correct? Okay, so I would look for a motion to approve.
I think that's what
I
we
think we're
just
good.
approved.
Oh, I see, okay.
I'm confused on
Action on 23-24 open
It's the
enrollment
same.
policy, process to fill remaining spaces. Description, motion by, the board will not create random selection wait lists for each grade. Any discussion?
Just to clarify, because there's no room.
No room. That's exactly right. There's still no room.
Still no room.
Do I have a motion?
I can so
Hey,
move.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Tom, thank you. Any additional comments? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
that. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. I think we're done.
Well, we gotta.
Is that
Until
correct?
you make a motion.
But Kate's not
I will
here.
make that motion.
Okay.
Kate's not here to second it.
Approved.
So I'll do that. I'll second the
streak is
motion to
broken.
adjourn.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0, and we are officially adjourned at
Megan,
8:13
Right.
seconded that.
PM.
Yes.
For the adjournment.
Yes, I did.
I think I made it.
Thank you very much, all. Another fine
Thanks,
job,
Craig.
as usual.
And what time was it?
Aaron, I like the addition to the minutes.